Pokemon TCG market is in utter chaos. Scalpers, allocation issues, and skyrocketing prices feel like they are draining the joy out of a hobby that is supposed to be bringing people together. It also feels like the newer generation is being priced out of the hobby altogether. It is what is going to give it a future. That is what we really need to continue to flourish, and it feels like they don't have anywhere to go. Today we are diving into what is happening, what that means for the future, how new sets might be affected, and what we as a community might be able to do about it. If you appreciate honest and transparent takes on the Pokemon TCG community, love product openings, and want to learn more about how to start and run your online card shop, then consider subscribing so you don't miss a video. Now let's jump right into it. All right, let's be real and point out the obvious. The Pokemon TCG is no stranger to hype, but I think it is safe to say that we are in a period of near unprecedented hype at the moment, only rivaled by perhaps the Pokemon boom back in the late 90s, early 2000s, as well as back in 2020, around the times that Evolving Skies was about to come out. COVID hit, that whole boom. Everything is just causing a sort of frenzy at the moment, and the surge in popularity has certainly brought scalpers back into the spotlight. It seems to be a major theme across all kinds of social media, especially your Facebook marketplaces, those groups, online, everywhere. Everyone's talking about scalpers right now. Now, consider that this not only affects your longtime collectors and enthusiasts, potentially prices out the younger generation. You know, imagine being 10 years old, you're discovering Pokemon, all your friends are on board, you watched the anime maybe, thought it was super cool, you want to go to your local card shop and you want to buy your first Pokemon pack, or you want to go to Target or Walmart or something like that. You go to Target and Walmart, you can't find them anywhere. You want the newest packs, or even really anything nowadays. It's hard to find, but you want the newest packs, everyone's talking about it. Can't find it at Target, can't find it at Walmart. You go to your local shop, maybe you can find it there. Maybe they have it good for a good price. You can't find it there, you go online and you look, and your first pack costs $15? Like, that's crazy on something that's supposed to be $4.49 or $4.99 MSRP. $15 for a set that just came out is just crazy. Imagine being a kid in that position. You don't probably have the money to be spending on that. Maybe you do. It's even sadder thinking about the fact that the kid probably will buy that pack, right? They will spend that $15 because, you know, they're a kid, they want it, and the seller doesn't care. The scalper is not going to care. They're going to sell it no matter what, because that's the reason they bought it. I also want to talk about store allocations for online and local hobby shops. So your LGSs and your online shops, they're supposed to be the backbone of the Pokemon community. This is where your collectors and players, they can come together. But today, a lot of these businesses, from what I'm seeing online, what I'm hearing from friends and other people who are in the business, you know, they're getting less product than they thought they would get, and sometimes even at a premium. A lot of these businesses, they're struggling to keep up with demand and maintain a reasonable supply for their customers. I know, just personally speaking, as a newer cat attack, as a newer online hobby shop myself, I'm already seeing, you know, the difficulties with getting some of the supply, and with the overwhelming amount of people reaching out and asking for a specific product, that I have to go out and tell them I'm going to be getting it, but I don't know when. I don't have any guarantees on how much they're going to sell it to me at, or how many I can get. So it's just that unsureness of being able to provide for your community that just really sucks. And especially for the stores that have been around much longer than me, it's really important to be able to sort of help contribute to growing that community, and part of that is having the products available for customers to buy. Also, considering the fact that the business has to continue to exist as a business, right? So they have to add a markup where they can to be able to stay in business and continue operating. And I mean, I can speak personally for myself. With Prismatic Evolution specifically, I can't reliably get as much from the distributors as I would like yet. I'm hoping another wave comes out soon, but what I'm having to do is I'm going around and I'm I'm scrounging and searching for any kind of deal I can find, whether I'm paying market value, near market value, certainly over MSRP, so that I can bring these products to be available for my customers. And I still plan to sell at MSRP. I'm never going to go anywhere near where these scalper prices are, and that's just not really what I want my shop to be about. And I would much rather retain a customer and be able to provide the product that I'm telling people I'm going to provide than to make like these huge margins on a few sales and then just sour the taste for anyone coming back in the future. So to me, it's just good business sense. I'm seeing a lot of other shops do the same, and I really respect that, and I'm glad that people are standing up against this and not giving in to this pressure to really just make it all about the money. And I know, like, coming from someone running a business, that sounds a little silly. Of course it's about money, but it's also, at least if you're running your own business, for me, it's about your passion behind it. Like, why are you doing it? If you can't get up every day and want to do it, you're just going to burn out. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to burn your customers out. And that's just not good for anybody. So I'm not putting myself up on a high horse or anything. There's plenty of other stores doing this much longer than me that are doing exactly the same thing, push for their support as well. But my point is that it's just difficult, and it's sacrifices that you have to make, and it's sort of a disruption to the balance of your poke shops, your LGSs, and your community, and the wholesalers, distributors, all of that. There's a certain balance in a circle of life to it, almost, that it's just being completely disrupted right now. It's a little bit demoralizing at times. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I still wake up every day, and I love hopping on my website admin page, seeing what people are up to, reading the messages that you guys are sending, seeing what people are interested in. It's something I look forward to every day, and I don't see that ending anytime soon. But there are times where it just feels like a little bit like a slog. But yeah, with this limited stock, high demand, it's going to disappear in a few days, even hours. I mean, Surging Sparks saw this too. The hype around this Prismatic Evolutions, which at the time of recording this is coming out in like a week, it's just exponentially higher than what we saw for Surging Sparks. And it's already near impossible to find Surging Sparks at a lot of places. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like release date for Prismatic Evolutions. Stuff's going to hit the shelves, and that's going to be gone instantly, and that's going to be all there is for a while. And it's unfortunate. We're talking about Surging Sparks. We'll go back a little bit further. Let's go back to like 2020. All right. The Pokemon boom hit like a hurricane. It was totally fueled by nostalgia, certain influencers, pandemic, boredom, probably. And the market just absolutely skyrocketed. Everybody wanted in on the act, right? And that's just a lot of what we're seeing right now, of course. And we're drawing parallels. But the boom of 2020 did eventually lead to a crash, where I think we are probably heading with Prismatic Evolutions, and especially Journey Together. I am predicting that Journey Together is going to be the actual downfall of this current market that we're in. And Prismatic Evolutions is the catalyst to that. We have reached a limit of where pricing can go for new products. I think we've reached that apex where it's no longer going to be collectors chasing after this product. It's going to be more scalpers buying from those scalpers. And that cycle will continue for a very short amount of time before they realize that they're not making any money off of this anymore, and they're just sitting on the product, because collectors are a combination of either fed up, not being able to afford it, or just simply not wanting to spend that amount of money, which is pretty reasonable, in my opinion. And this is going to lead to what I hope is a very smooth and steady crash, like a very consistent one, and not an absolute plummet into like pokey hell or something like that. But I'm saying this, and I think it's a good thing. The market needs a bit of a reset, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on this. So I think 2025, for many reasons, is going to be a very exciting year for Pokemon. I've said this before, with your Prismatic Evolutions, your Journey Together battle partners, Team Rocket, your Black and White, all of that stuff coming out is going to be fantastic, in my opinion. I think it's great for the hobby. But I think one of the other good parts, if my prediction is correct, is going to be this crash of the market and this reset of the market. But if we don't reach this market reset, crash, or this bubble, let's say this bubble doesn't pop anytime soon, we could see something even worse by the end of 2025. We could see burnout. what I define burnout is when collectors can't afford new products or can't find any on the shelves. They eventually leave. And then what happens? It goes back to what I said. It's going to be scalpers buying from scalpers, and there's no hobbyists really fueling the economy. There's the new players, the younger players, or even the older players who are new. They're not able to break in because the cost of breaking into the hobby is just so high. So you're not adding more coals to that fire. So you're going to have burnout where there's nobody enjoying the hobby. And that's a very, very sad world, in my opinion. Let's say the bubble does pop, right? What's going to do that? What's going to cause it to pop? Well, I see this as a result of the boom coupled with the holidays. Of course, you have to consider that as a factor. And this has just all created a vortex of wild circumstances that have just gotten us where we are. What I was talking about earlier, this is going to be our plateau. This is our catalyst. Prismatic Evolutions is the catalyst to what is going to be the downfall of the market. And I say downfall sounds very negative, but resetting of the market is more appropriate with battle partners and assuredly Journey Together, which I'm hoping will set us up really nicely for our Team Rocket set coming out, because I think that's going to be such an important set, especially for your long-term hobbyists, and also it's going to be really tantalizing for your newer audience. It's a very recognizable brand, we'll call it, Team Rocket, and I think people from the outside of the hobby are going to notice that, and there's going to be collectors with true enthusiasm pushing this. And part of this is going to come from the Pokemon Company doing what they need to do, right? They need to print more, simply. They have done it before, and we really need it now. I'm hoping the Pokemon Company reaches out and does something about it, because burnout is bad for them too, obviously. So they need to take notice if they haven't already, and I hope they put out some sort of statement talking about how they're going to print more Prismatic Evolutions, or even just Surging Sparks, or anything really, but definitely Prismatic Evolutions. We really need to set the precedent that these cards are here to fuel a hobby and a passion. Okay, but what can be done about all this, right? Well, let's try and end this on a positive note. I feel like I've shared a lot of negative thoughts in this video, some of which certainly stem from some of my own frustrations. I do truly think that there is hope. I really do. It's historically very difficult to kill this hobby, and even though it can take its punches and go downhill, I always think it can recover. One thing, historically, Pokemon Company, they have shown that they can and will adapt to these market trends. If they increase production and possibly even lower wholesale pricing, which probably not likely, more so they need to print more product, this could act as a stimulus towards the health of the hobby and just help it stabilize and, you know, restore that delicate balance we were talking about earlier. Additionally, as collectors, as difficult as this is for all of us, and me included, as a fellow collector, I am right there with you. We can push back by supporting the local shops that you trust, that you know, that you love to go to, and just resist these just absolutely inflated prices. It's just helping to fuel the idea that there is a reward at the end of the tunnel for what they're doing. So, I mean, the challenges we're facing today, they do feel overwhelming. I'm right there with you. It's not all doom and gloom though. Like I said, if we just have some thoughtful decisions from the Pokemon Company and collectors commit to prioritizing the joy of the hobby over a quick buck, I think that is just a really good, healthy way for us to keep moving forward with this beautiful hobby. But what do you think it'll take to get the Pokemon TCG market back to, you know, a healthier place? You think there's nothing wrong with it altogether? Either way, I would love to hear all of your thoughts. Remember, the best way to support this hobby is to keep collecting, keep playing, keep sharing your love for Pokemon, and just be good to each other, be reasonable. That's all, right? If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more like it, if you like just kind of chatting about Pokemon TCG market or anything like that, I would love for you to help me feed that algorithm. Leave a like, leave a comment. Would love for you to consider subscribing if you love the content. And don't forget to check out my other videos if you want to see more stuff like this, or discussion topics, product openings, stuff about running the online Pokemon TCG business. I know there's a lot of other channels that do the same, but if you're interested in how I run things, we're going to be doing more of that. But yeah, I think together we can really keep this community strong. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Stay to the end. You are the GOAT. Stay safe out there, and I will see you next time.